As the Salvation Army bell ringers have begun making their annual appearances, it's not their bell ringing that's getting people's attention, but the apparent wokeness that has overtaken the 150-year-old plus organization. CRT appears to be in the kettle. We'll take a look at how woke ideology is infiltrating Christian organizations and churches with FRC senior fellow Owen Strachan, who has a look at what is happening with wokeness in our churches. Look, as you know, the far left is aggressively striving to undermine and strip away our fundamental constitutional rights through attacking pro-life laws in court, recasting our nation's history as racist, intimidating parents who object to LGBT indoctrination, and the list goes on and on. Now, tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. And we're going to give you an opportunity to partner with FRC as we equip believers across this nation to take a stand for our freedoms. Now, thanks to generous friends of FRC, all gifts up to $100,000 will be doubled. They'll be matched. So you can double your gift by joining with us on Giving Tuesday and being a part of making sure that Washington Watch and the work of FRC continues at a time when it's critically needed. To join us, give us a call. You can call us today. Wait, 1-800-225-4008. That's 800-225-4008. Or to get a jump on everybody else for Giving Tuesday, go to TonyPerkins.com. All right, earlier today, the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri issued a preliminary injunction halting the Biden administration from enforcing its vaccine mandate on healthcare workers at Medicare and Medicaid certified medical facilities in Missouri and 9 other states that joined in a coalition challenging the mandate. Now, this news comes just a week before the December 6th deadline that was set for those workers to get their first shot. And it also comes as the Biden administration is looking to rev up their COVID response with the emergence of this new variant.
What we're doing now with the Delta variant just needs to be revved up, and that's the bottom line of that, is the preparation by getting more and more people vaccinated and getting the fully vaccinated boosted. That's what we can be doing. But we are on the lookout for this. The CDC has a good surveillance system. So if and when, and it's going to be when it comes here, hopefully we will be ready for it by enhancing our capabilities via the vaccine, masking, all the things that we do and should be doing.
Again, that was President Biden's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, appearing on yesterday's This Week broadcast on ABC. Now, will the latest variant give the Biden administration another excuse to push their mandates? Even they're calling for more of these, the boosters and the vaccinations, even though they still don't know what the science says about this new variant and whether or not it will evade the vaccines. Well, joining us now to talk about this and more, Congressman Andy Biggs. He serves as the chairman of the House Freedom Caucus. He represents the 5th Congressional District of Arizona. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Tony. Good to be with you.
All right, let's start just with this. The injunction out of the district court in Missouri that has put on hold this mandate on medical workers. How significant is this?
Well, it's pretty powerful because it affects 17 million people nationwide who work in these types of facilities. And so you have 10 states that have an immediate injunction. And that means that there's now impetus to maybe see that injunction spread nationally. And that's what I hope would happen, because we're talking next week is when the deadline is that of this particular mandate by President Biden. So it's huge, and couple that with the Fifth Circuit's ruling, and that the Sixth Circuit is now bundling a bunch of cases together. I think you're seeing a tremendous movement here to demonstrate that these mandates are unconstitutional right now, Tony.
To me, this should make a lot of what this administration is doing as suspect, because they seem to be overreaching in a lot of areas. And like you said, this is the second mandate to be put on ice based upon the constitutional limitations that the executive office has.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And this administration has gone beyond the normal executive branch function boundaries for 11 months now. And so everything from the NDAA, where they're trying to draft women and mandate vaccines, et cetera. You got that going on. You've got these vaccine mandates that they're imposing on private businesses and contractors with the federal government, no matter how tenuous that contract is. All of these are signs of an administration that views itself as more of a dictatorship than a Republican form of government, a little r Republican form of government. That's what I see, and that's where we are, Tony.
Congressman Biggs, let me move on to this new variant, Omicron. The Biden administration is saying there won't be a new round of lockdowns for now, but such an action is not off the table. Here's what Dr. Fauci said yesterday on ABC This Week. So Fauci's basically saying that, look, we're not there yet, but we may have to do this again. They're doing this regardless of what the science says. In fact, the experts are saying they don't even know yet whether or not this vaccine works against this new variant. They don't know if the boosters work, but yet they're telling people you need to be vaccinated, you get your boosters. I mean, when do we look at the science on all of this?
Well, it's shocking, actually, and it's authoritarian. I mean, the doctor who in South Africa who basically discovered the Omicron variant has said the symptoms are very different, but that this doesn't have the same tenacity as the original COVID variant or even Delta variant or any of the others. And he said, and this doctor's indicated very clearly that at least as far as they can determine, this does not have that same kind of worry that should be attached to it. And yet Dr. Fauci's out there already signaling the need for more control over the Americans in every walk of life. And to me, that just points out what we've seen all along, that they don't care about the science, that this has been and that this always will be about control. And that's the concern that we ought to have, Tony. And that's the concern that I have.
Yeah, I'm with you, Congressman Biggs, because if and when they want to talk about the science, they want to talk about natural immunity. That, by the way, more studies out saying it is as effective or more effective against the variants. So, I mean, when they really want to go after the science, let's talk about all the science. Let's put all the facts on the table. Until then, I think you're absolutely right, and I think a lot of Americans are with you. Is that we look at everything they do as suspect because it looks more like a power grab than it does a concern for the health of the American people. I want to move on before we run out of time, Congressman Biggs, because in the Senate is debating this week the National Defense Authorization Act. It's something the Freedom Caucus has been working on, for something we've been talking about a lot here on Washington Watch. In fact, our lobbying arm has prompted about 200,000 responses to members of Congress over a provision, and this would force our daughters to register for the draft. Give us the latest on what's happening on the NDAA.
Well, Tony, thanks for all that you and your listeners do to get this message out. But the Senate right now is mixed up in the sense that this is you've got Democrats that don't want to vote for this, and then you have Republicans that insist on voting for this. The bottom line is we've probably outlived the selective service registration in toto. But this notion that you want to broaden it to bring women in is anathema to so many Americans, and including those like myself who would like to see the selective service completely go away. It costs us millions of dollars every year. So right now, it's part and parcel to this. We were told in the House, oh, yeah, go ahead and vote for the NDAA because they're going to take that out when it gets to the Senate. Well, those of us who voted no, we know that you can never believe that type of stuff. So people need to be aware that you're going to start seeing young women register for the draft. And if young women want to serve in the military, I have no problem with that at all. It should be their decision to do so, not to be drafted into the military. And that's part and parcel to the greater control, whether it's the vax mandates for military folks, or else they're going to give them a dishonorable discharge, that type of thing. and to whether they're going to let them do Afghanistan accountability. They're fighting that as well. How about the red flag laws that still haven't been fully taken out? So it's a terrible bill.
Well, I appreciate the Freedom Caucus standing in solidarity against this measure. It's one that conservatives almost always support because it's about our military. But knowing that, the left has loaded it up with lots of left-leaning goodies that undermine the mission of our military. Congressman Andy Biggs, always great to have you on the program. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Tony. Great to be with you.